Good evening, Fredonia. You're listening to the local lowdown on WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. Hi, I'm Mel, your co-host, executive producer, and promotions lead.
Hello, what is up? It is Jordan, and I am your other co-host, and I'm also your A&R lead.
Heyo, it's me, Alex, in the Prod A booth, once again, making sure all the sound is sounding. Let me tell you, it's sounding good.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems, in a group effort to promote and showcase the local music scene here in Fredonia, but also Western Europe at large. Welcome to the Local Lowdown.
On this episode of the week, we have our guest, Auxcab. Hi, everyone. Hello. Why don't we start off by introducing everyone, if you want to start by this side of the table, and then straight down your name, your role. Go ahead.
Jason, I do the drum machines, a lot of production for us.
Nice.
James, keyboards, pedals, songs.
I'm Justin, about the same, leaning a lot more in production and the left side of the synth, if we will.
Nice.
Gotcha.
A lot of J's in this room, I will
Yes.
say. A bit intimidating.
Well, the first Auxcab release that's on streaming services came out in 2017, while your most recent one came out early 2023. I'm curious, what got you into ambient music, IDM, electronic music in general?
This guy.
Really?
I also agree.
Explain.
We had a more of a standard indie rock band years back, and after practice, we'd all just be hanging out listening to whatever he put on because we practiced at his house, and it was generally that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
eventually, it made its way into our brains.
Agreed.
Was this planned?
Sure.
I had dabbled prior
Okay.
to this
Yeah.
era, but
Yeah, we
really
got
drilled in.
much more into it. What was it, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, something
When we
like
started really digging into the electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of Aphex Twin, Audiker,
Word.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just always trying to listen to more stuff like that. I'm just always trying to expand the horizons as well, trying to listen to all sorts of different things, like, world music, like Eastern music, or, I love gamelan. I love a lot of Middle Eastern stuff. So I'm kind of all over the place, but yeah, I do tend to gravitate towards this style of like electronic music, Aphex Twin type stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And for you guys, just similar response, or?
I've been playing with these guys for, I don't know, how long have we known each other? Like, since 2005. So, in different bands and forms, here and there. So, I think I've always kind of had a connection in writing, especially with these guys. So, I think our styles just kind of evolved naturally. And here we are, we all kind of graduated around the same time. And this is kind of where our music life has taken us. And it's kind of like riding the wave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where we're at. So
Gotcha.
we're living in it, you know what I mean?
Solid.
It almost makes it sound like you guys morphed into like one being, the way that you're saying
The
it.
3 J's.
Yes, it's kind
maybe
of
when
what
we're
happened.
playing well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that is true. That is true.
It's kind of the goal, just to
Nice.
all be one thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
And what can you say about the development of this project in particular, Auxcab, over time?
I think it's been just a lot of like making something and then switching up hardware and seeing how like different elements brought into things can make the process change without, like trying to write a different type of thing.
Right. You find
Yeah.
different inspiration in a lot of different kinds of sounds.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Especially like in the basement a lot. I think we toy with a lot of different types of sounds. And, I think that you kind of get into a good groove, which I think breeds a lot of inspiration, especially on a production side of things, because we have a lot of stuff that I think are like happy accidents, if you will, where, we're jamming and all of a sudden we have this like really sick pocket of stuff that just comes out of nowhere. And we can kind of take that because we record every one of our practices. So,
Gotcha.
we jam and we can pick things from there. And then Jay and myself do a lot of post-production work to kind of get some stuff, to sound the way that it does now.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of little variations on things. So we've had lots of the same kind of core songs for years, but just all sorts of different little ways to change them, and changing out hardware, changing out just one or two little key changes or something like that. It just kind of completely changes things. So
Yeah.
we've kind of always just been chipping away at things that we've already made, and then making new things out of them, or just building it, or it's all kind of confusing. So we end up with really long songs sometimes, because that's just
That's how you make money on
parts.
streaming.
It's still easy to make.
For sure.
That's how you get the bag.
Everybody
Yes.
loves 20-minute songs.
We're securing the bag.
Yeah.
25-minute track.
No other explanation. But that.
Well, you mentioned hardware. Do you guys have any favorite equipment that you're using right now?
I mean, both the drum machines. I'd have to open the bag. They're both Alesis. All of our pedals. I love the Boss delay that we have.
Yeah.
DDR20, I think.
Right. I think that the Delay Llama is also a really big
Delay Llama's
part of
good.
your sound in particular.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? I just added the DX7 recently. I was playing bass for a little while with these guys, and I think the synth just adds like a really meaty sound to what James typically plays, to kind of fit in with that. But I've only scratched the surface with that thing. The FM synthesis is like a crazy tip of the iceberg thing that I know about it. So I've got to do a lot more digging to see what that machine can actually do, because, again, talking about inspiration and stuff like that, like I think I've only scratched the surface with what that synth can actually sound like, which is really exciting, just kind of moving forward, especially with these guys, just to kind of plug in some different sounds and you let James kind of rip all over it.
Solid.
Absolutely.
Well, this is a question for James in particular. I know we just talked about inspiration, but where would you say the songwriting process for you begins? What is usually the first step that you take when doing so?
I'm usually just sitting at home at my piano.
Okay.
Like Jay was saying, Justin, I call them both Jay.
Oh, man.
But like half of the songs that we release are just like improvisations that happen to practice, but there's like another group of like core songs that I've been working on over the years, and I mostly just come up when I'm playing piano at home, and just kind of playing around,
Yeah.
find something I like and keep working on it.
Would you say that, like, obviously you guys have worked together for a really long time, and I guess like developing songs over time kind of, takes its course, but would you say you guys, in terms of like the process in making a song, is it as simple? Do you guys take like improv, like, oh, this idea came by, let's just add to it? Is there like more thought to some ideas more than others? Is someone like usually taking the lead on a particular idea or inspiration?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I know for me, it just kind of happens where, we'll just be playing something and like James says, all these different variations of songs. So we'll just be going off somewhere, and then we'll land somewhere. Like, Justin said, we'll be having a nice, minute or 2 minutes of the song. And we'll say, where did that come from? I'm not totally sure, but, eventually all the parts kind of just like fit together in a really interesting way that we never really put them together before. So yeah, it's just adding stuff, changing things a little bit, and just seeing that change kind of happen down the road, and all the things that happen after that change. It's it's a building effect.
Yeah.
So there can be just lots that happens over the course of a song that I'm not really too sure what they're doing. I know what I'm doing, and I know kind of how I want to go with it. But with a lot of that, it just happens, and it's nice that happens. Yeah, we have been playing together for a very long time, so I think we kind of can communicate just with playing songs.
Yeah.
There's certain times too when like somebody will hear something that they like, and like it's a bit of a time period that they have to take to convince the others that it's like good or whatever.
Yeah.
But
It could be subjective.
I was gonna say, I mean, you guys all work under like the same project, but I mean, again, you guys all seem like you you guys communicate well, but is there ever a time where it's like, I don't agree with this. Let's maybe take this a different route. Is it usually like everyone's hand in hand
think
with?
so.
I feel like
Sometimes.
there's like one or two things per album where he and I are like,
Okay, I had to know because I was gonna say like from the beginning I was like, wow, like since 2005 I was like, has everything just been like, yes, everything just smooth sailing, and I was like,
Yeah.
I have to ask, but
we don't get like mad about it.
right,
We're just like
but
Yeah.
creative differences.
disagree about certain things, but usually I come around to his way of seeing things over time.
Can you
Yeah.
think of like a particular song that happened for? That like we could hear that in?
There's like this ambient thing that we put out that I just recorded. I think you were like engineering it. That it's called F, and it's kind of wonky. And I was like kind of mad on it, wasn't crazy about it. But then Jay kind of was like, "This is actually really good. You should listen to it more, and maybe we should release it." So I think that's the first thing that pops to mind. Do you have any?
That's a great question.
Not trying to bring up old arguments or
no.
anything.
I would love to be able to dig into one of those right now.
Hash some things out.
Dude's got a whole computer of songs.
The nice thing is that I'm generally in control of what is actually happening on Ableton Live, which is
Right.
the program
Yeah.
that we use.
Okay.
Right.
I'm the one that's actually hitting the buttons, so
Yeah.
I don't think James would know how to how to remove something or add it or turn it up or something.
Yeah, we've got a good, division of labor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I write a lot of stuff, and these guys know how to do everything with the stuff.
Yeah.
So it
Correct.
works
That's
out-
awesome.
Works out really well for us.
Where do you source sounds from? Like, do you sample stuff often? Like, what is your favorite way to get sounds?
I mean, they're
we
just
sample anything, really.
We don't sample.
No
it.
sampling?
there's
Okay,
No,
gotcha.
it's all naturally created.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
yeah, they're from the. I mean, it's from the drum machines and from the
Yeah.
settings
Right.
on the keyboards and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't actually go out and get samples. I would like
Okay.
to do that sometime.
Yeah. Some of the sounds just, I guess they sound so organic. I'm wondering if, are you inspired by sounds that you hear out and about in the world or not really?
It's
Yeah.
a feeling, I guess. That would be the best way I can probably describe at least my tones and stuff. I don't know. I can't speak for these guys, but you just feel it. It's like, oh, this is cool. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean, if you can find something that sounds like that it's coming from somewhere else, that just happens to be a coincidence. You know what I mean? It's like we just kind of turn our knobs and just push our equipment to their fullest, I guess, and then some
Right.
really cool stuff kind of pops out.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I think we got to keep adding stuff.
Yeah.
We keep pushing on a lot of the stuff that we currently have, but I think that's generally how it goes for myself, at least.
Yeah, one of the nice things about my setup is that I'm using pedals that aren't necessarily made for drum machines. So you kind of get some unnatural or atypical sounds when you hook things up that weren't necessarily supposed to go together. And that's probably a big part of it, is just having the timing on the delays is a huge thing that creates texture with the drums and everything.
Yeah.
But just really, the combination of all the effects together is, I try to go for a holistic sound with that to try to make
Yeah.
it. I guess I would say I'm inspired by nature or something. I do like nature, but
Yeah.
it's nothing in particular. I just think it's really a good combination of things that we've got going on.
Definitely.
Especially like the ambient stuff, I think. Without the drum machines,
Yeah.
that's very much
That's
a feeling.
totally different, yeah.
Right. That's very much like loop and delays and a lot of kind of feeling through some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we
Still
do
cool.
things without drum machines, and then these guys are playing on their synths, and I'll usually control the effects from James. So I'll have all of the effects in front of me instead of just 4.
Okay.
right.
And then we'll kind of mess with it that way. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's very, very droney. I think,
I think it's a really cool tone. Like for our ambient sets, I think we got a show coming up in a couple weeks. I think we'll be playing an ambient set at your place. Yes.
Yeah, right. Correct.
So it is your house. I'm hopeful you're good with it.
So we're playing your house.
We'll be there.
Yeah, I think I should be free that night.
That's good. Good. That's cool. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about the visuals for this project. I think they're made by SV Randall.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
That's correct?
That is correct.
What is your relationship like with them? How'd you meet them?
We've known SV for many years. Went to high school with him, played in a band with him, and he's an artist, a sculptor primarily. He's at a college in Texas,
Oh, okay.
so he makes really cool stuff. And he came out one time when we were jamming and just like took a ton of photos and has been really generous with helping us out with the artwork stuff. So it's been really cool working with him.
Yeah. And how does that work process come together? Does he bring something to you guys and you're like, this is really cool, we think that this could work for this? Or do you guys ask him for something?
Honestly, we did like one session with him.
Yeah.
And it was extremely productive, and we've been using those images ever since.
Yeah.
I think he sent us like over 100 different ideas just from his time when he was with us. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So we've got a few
That's
more
great.
album covers left.
Yeah. We'll be
for
dipping
sure.
into that quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, in that way, how do you match it with the music that you create when you're looking at some of the visuals that he's provided?
I think you'll see a theme with like the ambient stuff being more just like two-toned, blue and black,
Yeah.
and the full-on kind of electronic music IDM will have more going on the album covers. But it's pretty much intuitive, I guess.
Yeah.
But we have tried to keep like the ambient series that's like letters or whatever,
Yeah.
kind of consistent with those blue and black orbs.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope you have a really great day. Is that somewhere in between those kind of?
Yeah, I think it is somewhere in between those.
Because that's like a rainbow with the black background, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Like two streaks of color. I think that one fits well. It's just like that album is probably the most straightforward thing we've done.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like a nice clean image to go with that.
Yeah.
So it felt like a good fit.
That's funny. I said it's a rainbow, and you said it's two streaks of color. I'm colorblind for the. So it'll always be a rainbow to me.
That's cool. Rainbows are great.
Yeah.
We're cool.
That's funny.
We have a lot of iterations of that particular streak from our
There you go. They
photographer.
can send you a vision, George.
So yeah, you might have
We
a
could turn
rainbow
them into
one
a
coming
rainbow,
out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's funny because when you mentioned colors, I was like, yeah, all these beautiful colors. And I was like, that being said, since you mentioned that, this artist in particular made like a war chest of all these like visuals that you guys are taking from, but in the future, say that, you were to, create certain visuals, and stuff for your pieces of artwork, would inspiration come from any particular soundtracks, any shows, any movies that would come from it? Because personally, when I was listening to the music you guys that came out, it was, I don't know, it's like being morphed into like this world, and you kind of just stand there and like, in the best way, I disassociate. But I just started thinking about a bunch of things, and I was like, this would be so well for like a soundtrack for like this or this. But I wanted to know like your thoughts on that. Sorry if I took you for a loop.
No, that's cool. I haven't really thought about this, to be honest.
I mean, for me, it kind of goes back to maybe what you said, like a natural inspiration of some sort. Like I live out in the woods and enjoy it, and that's a lot of the pictures too that we have from our album art. It's it's outside stuff. Maybe you can't tell if it's a leaf or a bubble or something like that.
Oh wow.
but,
Yeah, I wouldn't have
it could be
thought about it
something
that
like
way. Yeah.
There's just a lot of natural inspiration, I think, that I have. So I don't know if that gives you
Shouts
time
out
to
to
formulate a better answer.
birds.
Shout out to birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, birds.
Ferns.
Ferns
Yeah,
and birds,
we like
yeah.
ferns, but we hate
Plants.
corn.
No.
Correct.
Dumb.
Corn?
No corn.
No corn.
We like ferns. We like birds.
With no corn.
No
We are
corn.
anti-corn.
No
If there's one
corn.
thing that everybody gets from this interview,
Yeah.
No corn?
There's always
big
one
corn
thing.
is taken over. We can't let big corn take over everything. You know,
Fair.
Yeah, we're taking a stand with our instrumental music.
against big corn.
Big corn.
Understood.
Yeah.
You'll never see corn on our album cover
No.
ever.
You heard
maybe
it
a
here.
partially frozen stream or something. I think that might be more likely.
Yeah, partially
Yeah.
frozen
Those are
frozen
good,
streams are
yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Mm.
those are really nice.
Those are
Something like that.
inspirational for sure.
Yes. Yes. Well, your guys' most recent release, I, came out at the beginning of this year. Well, that leads me to my question. Would you call it I? Is that, or is it a Roman numeral?
I think it's I.
You think it's I? Okay.
I just did a big click. Sorry about the click over there. Yeah, we just are a bit lazy about naming songs. So for this ambient series, we're just doing letters. Although we did add words or sort of words for this iteration.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
for I,
Yeah. We
for the
did name
first
some
time,
kind
so
of.
Right.
Stay tuned for more words, perhaps.
Might be a little bit easier to figure out what song you're listening to.
Okay.
Yeah. But what was the process like for this release in particular? Anything different?
So
The same?
we that was actually, so I think that's a mix of approaches. A few were like the endings of tracks that were like heavily warped through pedals that we built ambient songs on top of. So like, and I think a few were ambient, or just keyboarded into pedal type tracks.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you can elaborate on that more intelligently.
Maybe not, though.
Only time will tell.
I think that's probably good. It's a mix of things on the last one. So I mean, just like we've said, we've been kind of just combining things and changing things around. This is just like a lot of different iterations where we've moved lots of things around over the course of like all the different songs. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
So-
previous ambient releases all had like the same setup
Yeah.
for equipment, but this one had a few different things going on. So,
yeah, we kept it consistent for a while and then we just abandoned that.
right.
All right.
It's nice to abandon consistency.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about ready to transition to our live performance. Take it away, guys.
Woo.
Woo. Well, thank you guys so much for that performance. We really appreciate you making the drive down from Buffalo, doing the whole bleep bloop thing for us. Sounded great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I had a question regarding a newer project. Newer 2022. But another recent project that you guys worked on called I Hope You Have a Really Great Day. That was released in 2022. Was there a reason you wanted this music to be associated with a friendly message? Any backstory behind that you want to explain?
I think we were just going back and forth with different album titles, and we couldn't really decide. And then somebody just threw that out there, and we all kind of laughed. And then, on second thought, still liked it.
Yeah.
So we kind of went with it.
I think we were trying to decide between like 5 different titles, and that was not one of them. And
That ended up being the one, though.
someone just said it, and it was.
But we mean it.
Yeah,
It is.
Right.
we
It
really
is.
do hope you have a
Yeah,
great day.
It's absolutely
It's really nice.
sincere,
Except for
yeah.
Big Corn, of course.
Yes, get that out of here.
No,
Yeah.
big corn, may they have horrible days.
Many horrible days.
Many, many horrible
Oh,
days.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. It's a nice little playful element. It cheers me up, personally.
Good.
When
It's a
I
beautiful
go listen to
mistake.
That's
it.
great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I want to also talk about another side project that James has, which is the Niagara River. Or is it just Niagara River?
It's the Niagara.
The Niagara River. How could I forget? Well, you just released Dream Clip. I have it written down on my paper here because you described it as a demented carnival with some kraut rockiness and some drones. I thought that was really interesting when you said that. And I was wondering if you wanted to expand upon some of those points.
Yeah, so this is a collaboration with Jesse from Dolly Sods and Jesse and the Spirit.
Yes.
I asked them to play a show one day with me when I was just doing a show last minute and these guys were busy. And as far as the kraut rockiness, we just were kind of jamming out. The one song really does sound like a demented carnival. Jesse brings a lot of kind of cool krautrocky drums. They cover the drums on that project. And what else were you asking about? The drones.
Yeah.
That project is just a little bit darker, which is one of the reasons it's fun playing with them. Although I have to say, a few of the songs that we've put out without my playing on them get dark, like that song Surface.
What do you mean?
No idea.
But yeah, it's been really fun. I think we've got some other stuff recorded, so there should be more
Oh, great. Yeah.
coming from the Niagara River soon.
Yeah. And who did the album art for that?
That was my girlfriend Olivia.
Oh, it's awesome. I really like
Yeah,
it.
she did a great job.
Yeah. And the namesake itself, the Niagara River, was there any reason behind that?
I feel like that's another story where we had a couple of different ideas, and then Jesse just threw that out randomly, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's great. Let's go with that."
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
We were like at the last minute naming all the songs and trying to press publish, and just came up with it.
Yeah.
Like probably 10 minutes before we pressed publish.
Nice.
It was interesting to me because I had taken a trip to Niagara Falls right around that time, and I hadn't been in a while, and it was right when it came out, and I was like, whoa,
That's funny.
they know. They must know. But also, got to give a quick shout out. We did do a mini interview with Dolly Sods.
We did.
So check that out. I talked to Jesse and the other 2 folks at Mohawk Place. So yeah, check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Release.
rock.
And now
Yes. Tupelo Gum Swamp.
we
Great
are
song.
to release the Gremlin.
That was such a sad release.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for
gonna
no
make
big
a
intro
key.
this
There-
week.
There was no, there were usually like, it's a bunch of fanfare.
You want me to come up with something? really
Yeah, on the spot right now.
And here
Merch
comes
Gremlin
in
out of the right
the merch
corner, the red
Gremlin.
corner. Here he is.
Out of prod. Hey. Wow, we were spitting silly there for a second. Oh
We
my
were.
goodness. Anyways, it's me again, Alex, your technical director. But I do have another job here, Auxcab, here at the local lowdown. And that's being the merchiest gremlin alive. I'm always looking for band merch. I'm in the gold mines. I'm digging. I'm searching. And I see that face you just made. Because let me tell you, I was searching for a while. I put the research in. I was looking. And my search came up empty. It came up. I don't know if I wasn't looking in the right places or something. Or is there?
What do you want? We'll make you something.
So there are two possible explanations. One is that we're just so focused on the music that we can't think about T-shirts. The other one is sloth.
And that's
the answer.
That's the answer. Sloth.
Just never get around to it.
Well,
It could be some combination of the two.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
Well,
Not mutually exclusive.
I am curious. Is there any plans in the near future for some little merchy goodness? Maybe some stickers, or I think some of these projects would look really nice on a cassette, perhaps. That's my That's my personal opinion, though. But any plans?
I agree. We should get going on that stuff. SV made really cool art for us, so we should be putting it on stuff. You're right, Mr. Merch Gremlin.
Thank you.
I apologize.
It's okay.
Wow, you've been
Though
given
I can't say that we have any firm plans for anything, but
Okay.
I think you've given us the prodding that we need to.
Yeah. The
we
poke.
Yeah.
have started a petition.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Perhaps I was good in poking you guys to get working on that. I'll be very excited to hear if anything comes to fruition.
Definitely. Keep you posted.
Yeah.
All right.
That being said, is there any upcoming projects, shows that we should be looking out from you guys?
So we've got a show May 5th at Cafe Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
You got to ask for the address for that one. Shoot us a message on Instagram or whatever. Then we've got an ambient single coming out on a compilation this summer. It's like a 24-hour ambient album to coincide with the solstice.
Interesting.
I
So
see.
that'll be dropping on the solstice, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
And then we're always fiddling with something else, so there'll be another album.
Yeah, we've always got something in the works. So,
Ooh.
things are at various stages of completion.
Right.
So, yeah, we've got a handful of songs that we're kind of working on now.
Mm.
And I'm sure next time we get together and record everything in the basement, we'll have a whole bunch of other stuff to sort through and figure out what we want to, keep and what we want to throw out. So, yeah, that's always a turning factory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy to hear that. I'm looking forward to everything.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for all the projects and shows. Luckily, by the time this airs, the show will still be on May 5th.
Yeah.
Because we've...
That's true. Almost every week we're like, what does Alex usually say about the time machines?
Get your time machines. Make sure you get to the gig if you got your time machines.
Because people are always
Get to
like,
the
oh,
gig.
we're playing this Friday. And we're like,
Well,
They're
this
like,
episode airs next week. It would have happened. But yeah, super excited for the show on May 5th and any upcoming projects. But I think that concludes our episode for this week for the Local Lowdown. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show and performing for us. Been a great pleasure to have you guys on.
Awesome.
Thanks so much
Happy
for
to be
having
here.
us. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Local Lowdown on 88.9 WCVF The Voice and 89.5 WDVL The Inferno. We will be back next week with some more energetic local music. Same time, same place.
Goodbye.
Bye.